YouTube. Let's go on an adventure. Does this happen to you? Because this isn't fun. This happens to me. So right now I'm going to fix it. And you're going to come with me to learn how to do it. I've been dealing with for like the last week. A truck battery that won't stay charged. So now, I know it looks like I just discovered this in the beginning of the video, but I knew that this was an issue. This has been something that's been haunting me for a while. It's made me late for, well, I was late for work. But also, it didn't make me get there any sooner. And so what I'm going to do about it today is I'm going to take the little factory alternator off of this thing. I'm going to put a bigger 160 amp alternator in it. And I'm also going to change out my auxiliary power source from being just the starting battery. I'm going to run a secondary battery, a deep cycle marine battery, to be able to run everything that I'm going to put in the back of #codename Project Overlander. So I'm going to try to document it the best that I can. So if you want to see how it's done on a super cheap budget, safely on this, stay posted, keep watching. Because that's what I'm about to do. What you're going to need to start this job. Yeah, I know, it's a Duralast. But it's bigger, and it's better, and it's remanufactured, so it's brand new. Also, you're going to need some tools. A nice socket set, maybe a couple wrenches. If you're going to replace the alternator and get all that belt taken off, you might as well replace it with a brand new one. Because, obviously, the old one is not in the best shape at 300,000 miles of use. There are cracks and splits in it. You can't see any here, but I promise you they're there. And the most important thing of all that you will need: coffee. Go wrong with coffee. Want to or not, if you're replacing the alternator, you're going to have to take the belt off the truck. It's called your serpentine belt. It's the main belt that drives everything, all the accessories, with maybe the exception of like the AC pump or the power steering. This is your serpentine belt. We have our replacement right here. See, brand new, old. You can tell the difference. The way to get this off, because it's on there tight, it's super tight, you're going to focus on this guy. This is your tensioner pulley, right? What you do is you get the appropriate size socket, put your wrench on righty-tighty, push down on this, and slip the belt off. See if I can do this. Limited hands. Let me do it. Okay, so we got it off. Good. That's how you do that. So the belt's now off. As you can see, right here, the alternator, it is loose. I could take this alternator off, put this one on, we'll have more power, yeah! And we can replace this whole belt. But I'm not gonna take it all the way off. I wanna show this to you guys. I'm gonna leave it on here kind of in the order that it goes, because I know how it kind of fits. Because sometimes these things can get pretty twisted up and windy, and it gets really confusing as to what goes where and how it loops over what. And if you do it wrong, your vehicle won't run. So we're back to ground zero. So pay attention, watch close, and don't miss. Use a magnetic tray or a bag or a bucket. I got a special slot somewhere. I stick them in my pocket if there's not going to be too many. You don't want to lose these, especially if you only have one vehicle like me and you're entirely dependent on it. Because if you lose these, you can't just go to the parts store and buy more. You got no vehicle, no way to run it. You could probably run it on the battery for a while, but that's not going to turn out too well. Excuse me, it's not going to turn out too well. So put these straight in your pocket. They're hard to lose, but if you lose them, you're screwed. So I got it all unbolted. Let's pull this thing out. Ugh. This part sucks. Hold on. looks so pretty. Now to put the boat all wired up. Now the only thing left to do is to run the boat. I got the boat back on. It was a pain in the butt. This thing wasn't going quite far enough to get it over this. In case you didn't know, this is probably a good tip to share. Whenever you're doing these, this is your tensioner. You loop the tensioner. You loop the ones with edges, right? And you find your smallest smooth one. And that's the one you pull your belt over in order to tighten it up. You don't put it on the tensioner pulley last. You put it on this one. I don't know what it's called. It's not an idler pulley. It's something. But you put it on this one. Okay? That's where you put it at. And it's best to take off your air intake. Get a chance to look at this. A. And B. This thing gets in the way. I'm looking at this. This air intake is crap. Let me show you. Because it looks all wide and big and flat and smooth. What they don't show you from the top, if you look here, see that huge pinch spot right there? That's severely dampening how much air gets into my intake. Okay, so I jumped the truck. It's running, as you can see. We're at a car parts store, AutoZone. I got a core charge of $40 I gotta go collect. Might get that deep cycle battery, some battery cable, or maybe I'll do a little more research on how the best way to do this would be. But I'm thinking instead of doing all that crazy stuff, jumping off to this and doing a battery isolator and fuses and fusible links, I think I might take the deep cycle, put it in the bed of the truck, hook a power inverter up, and hook a battery charger straight to the deep cycle battery. So when I drive, it's charging. When I want to turn it off, I can just unplug the thing. And I already have a cheapy power inverter that I could run a battery maintainer on. Do I install it more permanently? Got a few things to think about. Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated. Remember all of his weapons he had? They all like that weird German names. So I was just reflecting on today, and it just dawned on me that alternator would have been an awesome name for one of his weapons. The Alternator. Sounds like, it's just a badass word. I don't know. Let's see what happens here. Hold on, you gotta see this. Truck's been running, now it's off. It's been off for a while. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, no lights. Straight up started. Hopefully we killed it. But we did get, hold on, let me show you this. We're getting there. If the motor don't blow up and I get this stuff in. Oh yeah. Have a blessed and beautiful night.